Perfect. Okay, so let us start from where we had left off. So in the last class, I'll quickly revise like always. So we had looked at the cell cycle overall. What we had looked at, there are two different phases of the cell cycle. That is the interphase and the mitosis phase. In interphase, which was subdivided into further categories, that is G1 phase or growth phase. That's where the cell prepares or duplicates most of its organelles so that it is ready for the further cell cycle and the cell division process. Synthesis phase was the one where the major genetic material is getting replicated. We usually say DNA replication and rarely we say DNA duplication. So please use this word replication. And in G2 phase, where almost everything is ready, the proteins and enzymes whichever are required for the further process of mitosis, they are getting synthesized, and that is how the interphase looks like. And then we were going to look at the mitosis, which is actually the nuclear division and the cytoplasmic division, which is called as karyokinesis and cytokinesis respectively. So that is the actual cell division process. And then we had also looked at what the G0 phase is, which is predominantly the resting phase, when a particular cell doesn't want to get into the cell cycle, or it has like no role as such at that particular uh, time point in the physiology to divide and give rise to the new daughter cell. Then it goes into the dormant stage, or what is also called as resting phase, but the functional aspect remains the same. So that is what the G0 phase is. Then we had also looked at the details. One important point that we had looked at was regulation of the cell cycle. How does it get regulated, and what happens if there is a damage in the cell cycle? Okay, so that is what we had looked at, and I had quickly revised. I have quickly revised about it. So now we are going to look at the cell cycle duration. Now, cell cycle duration actually refers to how long does it take for the cell cycle to happen. Now, if I may ask, is everyone here? Why I don't see people? That's very strange. Yeah, everyone is here. Okay. Why the hell this side box is not coming? I cannot see people then. Hey, this is very strange. Does anyone know how the side panel comes?
If someone turns on their video, you turn off the video, turn it on again.
Oh, it will work?
It should.
Oh, it is not. Okay, fine. Then I can only share and I only see my screen. Okay, let me ask you this way. Can someone tell me what do you think would ideally take for a cell cycle to happen? Like, what is the time duration? Anyone?
I genuinely think it depends.
And depends on what?
Like, I remember reading that I think our skin cells become proper, like all our skin cells become new, I think once every week or something of that sort. While our liver is completely new once every 7 years or something. So, like I guess so that cell cycle depends on the usefulness of that organ.
Nandan, you said something.
It also, I think it depends from cell type to cell type. So, let's say skin cells need to shed more frequently than eye cells.
Okay. Now, anyone else wants to say something? Otherwise, I'll ask the further question subsequent to this already asked. Or shall I call out the names? People, please don't sleep like this. I guess I will call out someone. Vikram, what do you think? What would be the cell cycle duration in general?
Sir, if I have to guess, I think like about a day.
Okay. Uh,
Cell cycle for all organisms or humans in general? Like,
we can restrict to humans as of now, and then we can talk about the other organisms as well. Janvi, what do you think?
I really don't know what it's like. Like, I don't know what the average or something would be, but I'm pretty sure that for different cells, different kinds of cells in different areas of the body with different functions will renew at different rates or whatever. I don't. Hmm, I think maybe like in 24 hours or something. That's just a guess. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, that's almost like kind of correct. But see, now I will tell you something in addition to this. What we are getting confused probably is there is a rate of cell cycle. That means, like for example, Aditya mentioned about the skin, and also most of you said that the cell cycle is dependent, or the duration is dependent on the type of cell. Now we are getting confused between the duration and the rate at which the cell cycle happens. Now, if the rate at which the cell cycle is happening will actually decide the cell cycle duration. But if we are talking of the type of the cell, I don't think it should change a lot with respect to the cell cycle duration, because let's say for example skin again, my skin needs to shed itself quite often compared to, let's say, a liver cell, right? So the replacement rate is higher in skin compared to liver, but that does not mean the cell cycle duration has to be different, right? I can have my liver cells in after let's say a new cell cycle, there will be replacement, but that duration did not change. Let's say if it is 24 hour, it can say 24 hour, and with skin also it can stay 24 hour, but the number of cells that undergoes cell cycle in skin will be higher, and the number of cells which undergoes cell cycle in the liver might be lower. I hope you understand the difference between the rate of cell cycle and the duration of the cell cycle. So do not get confused between these two terminologies. Yeah. Otherwise, most of you said it right, that average cell cycle duration is almost around 24 hours. Okay, so then I will just quickly go over this piece of information. So the length of the cell cycle is important because it determines how quickly an organism can multiply. Now this is mostly important with respect to the stages of development of an organism, from embryo stage to the, let's say, infant stage, then the adolescent stage, and then the adult stage, right? These are like briefly the four phases of the life: embryo, infant, that is the baby stage; adolescence, that means when the sexual maturity is achieved; and then the adult, when the rest of the life goes. And this is the these are the life stages in general of the most of the organisms. Need not be like of course not of those which are like what do you say, asexually reproductive organisms. They may not fall into this category, because here we are talking of the adolescent phase which does not exist in them. But otherwise majority of the organisms which are like animals, and also some of the, rather most of the flowering plants and so on. So that includes these four phases. And in, let's say, embryo stage, there is a quite active cell division or cell cycle is happening. In the infant stage where the baby is growing, now I am only talking of the human beings. When the baby is in growing stage or growth phase, let's say almost until 18 years of the age, or until they attain the sexual maturity or puberty, what we call it, that is like 13 or 12 years of the age. But I'm just taking it, extending it to the 18th year where the growth phase happens. So in this growth phase, there is also very active cell cycle or cell division happening in the organism or humans, after a certain age, this reduces. So in your textbook, there is one box type of information that is given, which says during the baby stage, the rate of cell cycle or the rate of cell division is higher compared to rate of the cell death, right? Then when you grow into the adult, the what you call the teenager life phase or the growth phase, after the baby is born, and let's say after 5 to 15 years of the age, during that phase, the rate of cell division is almost higher, it's quite higher than the rate of the cell death. And then in the adult phase, the rate of cell division is less and the rate of cell death is higher. Like that is almost at the end of the life, after 50 or 60 years of the human life. So this chronological sequence is also changing with respect to the cells which are actively dividing and the cells which are dying. So the length of the cell cycle is important for that particular aspect. Now, for a single celled organism, and this is why I separated those 4 phases of the life in terms of growth with respect to the other organisms, like a single celled organism, all your microbes and bacteria and viruses. So this rate determines how quickly the organisms can reproduce new and also the create the independent organism. Now, for example, if I have to give you an idea, there is a bacteria in your gut. Gut is your intestine, which is called as Escherichia coli. Short form is E. coli. So E. coli we call it, and that is your gut bacteria. It has a doubling time. That means one cell cycle happens within 20 minutes. So let's say you have 24 hours, and if you had only one micro at the start, you can calculate and tell me how many will be at the end of 24 hours, right? So in 20 minutes, it becomes double. Can someone do the quick calculation for this? I can't do that fast. So in 20 minutes, it will be 2.
So it should be 2 raised to the power to 72 divisions,
Yeah.
which is extra. It's very large number, so I express it like that.
So, like you got an idea, like how many bacteria or its E. coli will be there at the end of just 24 hours, starting with one bacteria. And surely you never have one bacteria. You have at least few tens of thousand or few lakhs within, like if at all you are getting infected, or if at all you are getting it from somewhere, or either ways, right? Or if at all it is already there through your food and so on. So if you have few thousands, you have to multiply that 2 in 2 raised to 72, I guess, into whatever the original number was. So that's quite a lot of number. So that is how the cell cycle looks like for microorganisms. Also for some viruses, I guess coronavirus has doubling time of kind of 2 to 4 hours, if I'm like remember it correctly. And within that time span, it doubles. And that doubling time in microbes is something similar to the cell cycle duration in the eukaryotic cell or so on. So that is in single cell cycle, it is little lower in terms of the time duration compared to the higher organism. And also this goes back to the fact that that higher organisms, they are little complicated in terms of cell machinery and so on, while the lower organism, or what we call as prokaryotic organism, they are little simpler in their structure. So it becomes more easier for them to double compared to the eukaryotic cells. So that is what the second point talks about. The higher order species, the length of the cell cycle determines how long it takes to replace the damaged cell. So usually this has, I guess, I had mentioned about this, what is the purpose of the cell cycle, or why does it happen. So it's either to replace the damaged cells, or the organism is in the growth stage, and so on, right? So replacement and the growth. These are the two major purposes for which cell cycle happen. And for higher order species, this duration of the cell cycle will determine how does it get, or how long does it take to replace or to grow the individual. Imagine, sorry, if we are able to decrease the cell cycle duration, the growth of the human that happens within 18 years would ideally happen within, let's say, 7 or 8 years or 9 years of the age, right? If you are increasing the if you are decreasing the cell cycle duration, let's say now one cell cycle takes place in 24 hours. If you are able to reduce it in 12 hours, now this is manipulating with the nature, but just a hypothetical situation. So if you are able to reduce the cell cycle duration to 12 hours, then the what was I saying? The growth of the organism, which was ideally happening by the 18 years of the age, for example, would happen in 9 years. So that would be the effect on the life of the organism. But at the same time, the death may not get reduced by half. The death might still happen on an average of 60 or 70 years of the age. So that is how tricky this cell cycle is in terms of its importance in the human life. So the duration of the cell cycle varies from organism to organism, like we had, like most of you had mentioned about it, and also from cell type to cell type. Certain fly embryos, for an example, they sport cell cycles that last only 8 minutes per cycle. So fly embryos, in the sense, there are few like these fly species, like you know what fly is. Their embryo, that means whatever the eggs are being laid by these flies, their cell cycle lasts only for 8 minutes. And now again, if I have to go back to my research and give you an example from there, so I used to work with fish embryo. This fish was specifically called was Medaka fish. It is from the paddy fields of Japan, and that fish was being used for the research. And it's like, from the time I take the eggs which are being laid by the female of the fish, uh, from that time to I guess within few minutes, within 24 minutes or so, I have to start my experiment, because the cells would have already doubled by then. So ideally, when the zygote is formed, or when the sperm and the ova, they are fused of the fish, then it will form a zygote, which is a single cell stage. From that single stage to become a double cell stage or a two cell stage, it hardly took I guess 7 to 8 minutes. So first was a little longer, till the embryo is still in one cell stage. That was almost 24 minutes. But from 24 minutes, next 8 minutes was already doubled. So if at all I have to inject something into the fish embryo, I have to do this within this time frame of 24 minutes. If I miss that time frame, the cells would have already doubled. And then let's say if I'm injecting a protein, or injecting an RNA, or injecting a fluorescent compound, and so on, and if it has already become two cell stage, then only half of the organism would get whatever I have injected, because in two cell stage I cannot inject into the two cells. And this I'm talking about, the embryo is less than a millimeter. Yeah. So you can imagine the size of the cell, which will be hardly few micrometers. Within that few micrometers, you have to inject a few nanoliters of the compound. Now, I don't know if you can imagine the nanoliter part of the it. So like we know 1 liter is like one jug or one glass of it, full glass of it. And then probably, I don't know, 10 raised to 6th less of it. So it's like that tiny amount or that micro level we have to play when we used to do those experiments. So those things, they were very, very important, and that is when the cell cycle also plays very important. So when someone also mentioned of can we create these artificial babies, right? So it is not as simple as we talk about it, because these cells are already microscopic. DNA, RNA, these are nanoscopic, that is even the level less. So to play around at these levels, and you can imagine the efficiency of the human hand or even of those of the machineries is very, very crucial in terms of injecting something inside, or like putting those DNA strands together and so on. So until and unless it is done completely in a robotics way, uh, for human hand and human brain to do those experiments, it's almost next to impossible, right? Because the level of precision that we need, the level of like eyesight we need, even though we are observing through microscope, it is very, very difficult. So again, just to give you an anecdote from my research, I have tried these injection within the fish embryos with like a manual injector, and with the completely automated injector. With manual injector, if at all I spend that 24-hour time, I would hardly be able to inject 3 or 4 embryos. And with the automated one, I was at least able to inject few uh, tens, like let's say around 100 embryos within that 24 minutes. So that much is the efficiency gap with respect to the automated one and the manual one. So like you can understand the importance of cell cycle from these incidences that I have quoted, because there the cell cycle like ultimately goes into the next round and so on, and then by then you must have missed out some part of the. So that is how it is important. Also for coming to the last point, so for some mammals it takes much longer than uh, like up to almost a year uh, in certain liver cells, like they are talking about the human being here. So almost a year, because liver cells, their major function is metabolism, and the wear and tear, if at all it happens because of the certain toxic chemicals. Otherwise the liver is relatively very stable in terms of cell viability. Again, cell viability is the new terminology for you. Viability, you know the meaning of viability, like they are able to survive for a certain period of time. So cell viability is longer for liver cells. And generally the fast diving mammalian cells, now sorry, fast dividing mammalian cells, the length of cycle is approximately 24 hours. So like for example, skin you have mentioned. So for skin cell, it would be 24 hours approximately again. And for liver cell, it can be as long as up to almost a year. Any questions here? Again, I'm not seeing anyone, so I will stop sharing. Do you have any questions here? And I hope you are following. Rishit, any question? Rithin, Tanisha? Okay, so I guess there are no questions. So moving forward with this. So again, this slide mentions of certain examples. So most of the differences, no, not this one. Yeah. So there is one more. I wanted to skip this, right? Just give me a moment. Cross. Sorry, because the slides have been prepared a while ago. I have to look at it if I need to skip this. Okay, let me not skip it. So most of the differences in the cell cycle duration between species and the cells are found in the specific cell cycle phases. Now, even though the total duration of the cell cycle is changing, that duration is majorly because of the certain phases of the cell cycle, let's say G1 or S or G2 or mitosis, that happens differently. Now you might wonder, oh, that's obvious, but what does it mean is, like let's say in a particular liver cell and a skin cell, if the duration is like almost a year, or an year, in liver cell it is a year and in skin cells it is 24 hours. In these cases it might mean that a mitosis still remains 2 hours, right, in both of the cases, but the growth phase is taking long time, or the G2 phase is taking long time. But certain phases they might remain same, but that depends on what cell type and what species it is. It is not that only the like every phase gets elongated because the total duration of the cell cycle is changing. That is not the actual meaning, but rather certain phases of the cell cycle, they might have got elongated compared to the other ones, and that is why the total cell cycle duration changes. I hope you got the meaning of this statement. The DNA replication, for example, generally proceeds faster in the simpler organism due to the smaller genome, and this is very factual. Let's, like I spoke about the prokaryotes, or even in the eukaryotes of the lower organisms like algae and so on, they have very smaller genomes, as in like only few thousand base pairs, compared to the higher organisms which have few lakhs base pair long DNA sequence. So obviously to duplicate or replicate a smaller genome would take a smaller time compared to the bigger genome, which would take obviously the higher time, and that is why that synthesis phase in these organisms, which are lower organisms, would obviously be the shorter phase compared to the higher organisms. So that is just one example of it. Across the species, the organismal complexity, embryonic cells have an increased need of rapidity in the cell cycle. So again, like depending on the complexity of the organism, for example, like let's say again human to the lower organisms, or any of the apes family or mammals family to the lower organism, the embryonic cells will have an increased need of rapidity. That means the cell cycle has to happen fast enough, because they need to multiply for the development of the embryo, and that is what the rapid cell cycles, they are required. They may or may not happen. What it is talking about, that there is a need for rapid happening of those cell cycle, especially for the development of the embryo. Now again, in early embryonic cells as in after the fusion of like the, let's say if we talk about human, the sperm, the human sperm and the ova or the egg, when they are fusing they will form zygote, and that zygote divides, that undergoes a cell cycle division. That those cells, they are called as embryonic cells. They often omit G2, G1 and G2. That is because they have quite a lot of sufficient material, or omit does not mean it's completely scraping. It has the ability to quickly prepare those materials. It's we call it, no, sometimes, oh, this person is young or this plant is young, so it develops very rapidly, or it's growing fast, something of that sort. Embryonic cells, they are in their peak of growth, and that is why their these G1 and G2 phases, they happen like so quickly that like the successive round of S phase and mitosis, that these are the only phases they are taking a little longer compared to G1 and G2. And for these cells, the main concern is not the regulation of the cell cycle, because there is quite tight control at the embryonal stages, but rather it is the speed of the cell proliferation, that is the rate at which the cells are dividing, that is the cell proliferation. Again, proliferation in general sense means growth, but in specific biological context we call it to when we want to say about the growth of the cell. Now growth of the cell doesn't mean in the size, but this in terms of growth of the tissue. So again, any questions here? I hope you are following this embryonic part. There is a quite a lot to this embryology topic in terms of human, which if at all you take biology for 11th and 12th science, then you will get to study this like kind of developmental biology part of it. And it's very interesting to see how the one cell stage zygote develops into a complete organism. Okay, I guess how much time do I have? Okay, I can finish this part and then we will stop. So again, this is mostly the slide to represent what exactly those numbers are. So we had looked at G1, G2 and S phase, or rather G1, S and G2 phases. To let me be in the sequence itself. So G1 typically is the longest phase of the cell cycle. Now again, why it is the longest phase? Because it has to prepare and regrow. Now this is not talking about the embryonic cell, but rather the general somatic cell of the body. So that is why, like you might wonder, just now you said that G1 and G2 are the smallest phases in the embryonic cell, but this is the general somatic cells of the body and not the embryonic cell. So G1 is the typically longest phase of the cell cycle. And again, this is mostly because it has to grow and it has to duplicate the cell organelles, and that is why it takes certain like longer amount of time. G1 usually spans for 10 hours out of the total 24 hours. 24 hours is not of the day but of the cell cycle duration. So total duration of the cell cycle in general somatic cell or general regular cells of the body is 24 hours. Out of it, 10 hours are taken by the G1 phase. The length of the S phase varies according to the total DNA that particular cell contains. Obviously, in human cells, most of the cells they have a common number of chromosomes, so there it may not vary. But if it is from different species, obviously it will vary. So usually the cells in human body will take up to 5 to 6 hours to complete the S phase. G2 is relatively shorter and it takes only 3 to 4 hours for most of the cells. And then the interphase generally takes place between, that is the total duration of the interphase, means total duration of G1, S and G2 is 18 to 20 hours, and the remaining, okay, this M is missing here, the mitosis. So the remaining of the interphase, remaining of the cell cycle phase, that is mitosis, happens in this 2 hours time span. Now, if you make a total of it, it may not make 24, but that is because these are the kind of, they have not been averaged yet here in this. It is because it is showing a range of time and not one time point. So, that is the general idea of the cell cycle duration. So, cell G1 phase, that is the first growth phase, is the longest. Synthesis phase is usually 5 to 6 hours. G2 is the shorter ones in terms of 3 to 4 hours, and that is shorter in interphase. Otherwise, mitosis is the shortest in whole of the cell cycle, which only lasts for about 2 hours. Okay, let me stop here. If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise,